Thank you for continuing to do the GPRead program. We are just pressing right along here through the book of Judges. We're going to finish up Judges this week and move into the book of Ruth. But in the book of Judges, we have some of the most disturbing stories in all the Old Testament. We're going to finish up the story of Samson, this guy who is serving God as a judge, but also seems to have his own moral failings and difficulties along the way. You're going to see the end result of his life, the way that God uses him to liberate the people, but does so at the cost of Samson's life himself. After Samson, you're going to meet this guy, Micah, and a Levite, a priest, so to speak, who is there as part of the story that's going on. Now, this particular priest, he has a concubine, which is like a wife, but not a wife, takes this woman for his own pleasure, for his own household service. And this horrendous thing happens to his concubine. And in a very unfeeling way, this Levite makes an example of her, a demonstration of her in a very heinous act. And I believe all these stories are to demonstrate how quickly the morality and the obedience of the people of Israel were declining. These stories, though they really happened, are examples of why the people needed a different kind of leadership, a stronger leadership, a prophet and king sort of leadership that's to be coming in the future. Now, you're going to see as we get into chapter 20, a war comes up between some of the tribes of Israel. Again, demonstration of how the people are diverging from the ways that they were instructed to live with each other. And the book of Judges is going to end with this statement that you've heard throughout. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what is right in his own eyes. Now, that statement is kind of the echo in your mind that's going on as we move to the book of Ruth. Now, the book of Ruth happens during the same time frame that the Judges is going on. And you're going to meet this woman, Naomi. She has two sons. Those sons have wives. Well, both sons die as well as her husband. And so all of these women are widowed. Naomi decides to go back to her land, which is in Israel. And Ruth is one of her daughter-in-laws. And Ruth is a Moabitess. So she's not an Israeli woman. Yet Ruth goes back with her mother-in-law, Naomi. And she commits herself, pledges herself to live with her and to stay with her. And this whole story really is one of the greatest stories in all the Bible in terms of how well it's written, the way the drama and the plot unfold, and the character development that you see. Ruth becomes part of the lineage of Jesus, if you can believe that. This woman who's not even an Israelite, but because of her faith in God and because of her faithfulness to the Jewish ways, becomes an ancestor of Jesus himself. So you're going to read the first two chapters in Ruth this week. So friends, keep reading. Also stick with Proverbs. That wisdom is going to pay off in the long run. So God bless you, friends. Thank you for being a part of the GPRead program.